I'm working on my PhD, and Jay is my mentor in the program. And so we had collaborated on this course that Jay had put together on teaching. Jay invited me to help with this course on evangelism in a pluralistic society, and so that was the roots of this book. And of course, I had similar experiences in Brazil, just realizing what I had been trained on as the gospel. And you can name them all from the 20th century, evangelism explosion, core spiritual laws, and powerful stuff in the right context and in their time and place. But using those types of approaches in my context, just a lot of times it was just like, boom, just going, not connecting, just passing in the night. So just realizing that at a personal level, I realized I'd been in Brazil for 20 years, came back in 2015. One of the things I realized is that the cohort from Brazil had more in common with Gen Z and millennials, those cohorts here in the States, than they did with the older cohorts, the greatest generation, the boomers and things like that. They were just thinking differently. And so if you said, hey, that's wrong, didn't mean anything, But if you would say, hey, if you keep doing that, I'm going to share that on social media. They're like, oh, don't do that. I'll stop. Well, that's just like shifting from guilt justice to shame honor. You're exposing their wrongdoing in front of other people. That's shaming. That's like a shaming. So suddenly it's like the world has, I've been gone 20 years. The world's just really shifted. And I saw that over and over again in Brazil too, in my own personal, I could share stories from that too, but well, I'll just share a real quick one. I was a lot like Jay. I was shared the gospel the way I learned it and stuff. And everyone was, I'd talk and preach, and everyone was super polite. They're like, that's really nice. One day I had an experience where I went to a shop, and I'm still thinking, this is early on, I'm still thinking in my North American terms, left something to get fixed. The guy says, yeah, I'll get to that. And I'm like, okay, when are you going to get to, customer service? Customer's always right. Customer's number one, blah, blah, blah. This is my way my mind's thinking. He says, yeah, I should get to tomorrow. So I'm like pressing him, when can I come back? Yeah, come back tomorrow evening. So in my mind, I'm coming back the next day in the evening, and it's going to be ready to go. Wasn't ready. He hadn't even looked at it. I kind of lost it. I blew up a little bit, got upset. And I'm just kind of like riding him pretty hard, and he didn't really respond, but I could tell it was just not a good scene. I was socially aware enough to see this is not a good deal. I left, but the Holy Spirit touched me. He says, you need to go back. You embarrass this guy in front of his employees, his customers. You need to go back. You need to apologize in front of them also. Next day I went back. When the guy saw me come through the door, he turned his face away. He didn't want to see me. But I went over to him and I just said, hey, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have treated you that way. That was the wrong thing to do. Man, he just lit up. He just, because I had, and in an honor shame context, I was like, I had embarrassed him in front of his employees, in front of other customers. Now I was saying, this is like really honoring him. I was wrong. You were right. And so that was just a turning point. After that, I was like one of his favorite customers. He just like gave me priority service. He loved it. When I'd come in and talk to him, he was always chatty with me, So it was this really powerful moment,